Cool. Okay, guys, welcome to Swans Cast. So we're doing this live for a change. I haven't announced it to everyone, so if you are here, welcome. It's kind of like a trial. We're going to maybe look at doing it in this format going forward as it cuts down on our editing time, allows us to try and keep putting content out at a high standard when things go back to normal and our schedules with work and stuff get a little bit busier. So it's a trial. Let us know what you think. We'll see what happens and move on from there. But as always, if you do enjoy what we're doing, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and engage with us in the comments. We'll try and interact if anyone is in here with you as well during the live stream with comments now. And yeah, so we're just going to get into the next match, which will be Swansea against Coventry at home. So I've got Lee and Alid with me today. So hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our first live recording of Swans Cast. But it'll be the same as normal. You don't need to be nervous. We'll be all good. Okay, so Wednesday the 24th of February at 7 o'clock at home, Swansea will be looking to bounce back from their very disappointing performance against Huddersfield on the weekend. Which, are we over that yet?
Still stings a bit.
Never.
I'll tell you what still stings a bit for me.
What time
is Jordan Morris and his injury. So it's a little bit of a downer to start off with, but Steve Cooper has confirmed today in his press conference that Jordan Morris will be out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury in his knee, which is the news that we really didn't want to hear. Obviously, he's already come back from one of those in his career not so long ago, a few years ago. It could potentially be the last time we see him in a Swansea shirt. Let's be honest, that's the situation the way it is. So Cooper didn't confirm that is going to be the case. However, he said that there's talks going on about whether he will have his recovery here in Swansea or back at Seattle, and some details will come out in the next 24 to 48 hours on that one. Personally, I hope that, I hope Cooper's seen enough in him to suggest he can offer something going forward, that we take the risk and sign him, because it's such a horrible injury. He was such unlucky. I just feel for the guy on a human level, not even a football level, and I thought he could offer something for the team. That would be nice to see, but obviously football is business and it's not necessarily how it works all the time. So either way, we wish him the best in his recovery and hope to see him on the football pitch, be it here or elsewhere in the near future. Some other team news to talk about. Ryan Bennett is a doubt for this game. He had a calf strain, so he's touch and go, but Cooper said they wouldn't be taking any risks, which I think is the right decision. I'm not surprised, really. I don't think he can do 2 games in a week, and I said that before, and it seems to be the case, because when he does, he ends up pulling a muscle. And Routledge is going to be back in contention sometime in March as well, so he's not too far away. Okay, let's forget about the loss then, in a way of talking about the performance. We're looking forward now to the next match. Lee, what do you want to see from this game from Swansea then?
I think I just want to see the way we were sort of playing around about the end of December, just like the Reading game at home and Watford, where we were just a bit more attacking. It seems to have gone a bit stale on the whole in the last couple of weeks. So I just want to see a bit more zip about us. I just want to see a bit more energy. It just seems to have all died off a little bit, maybe because we've been getting out of jail with some results. And I don't mean it as a massive criticism, because we've lost 1 game this year. So it's probably easy to sort of slip into that mode of playing, really. But I just want to see a bit more urgency. I just want to see a bit more. We got to win this game. Every game's massive now. I know it's easy to say that, but you want to see that on the pitch. I want to see, you see IU run basically everywhere on the pitch covering people. I just want to see a bit more zip about us, especially going forward.
Yeah. What are you looking to see from the game then, Alid?
I think Lee's covered it there. As soon as you asked the question, it was sort of like, I want to see more going forward. I want to see more about us.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm not against passive play, but I feel like when we do have the ball going forward, we're not really a threat, and we've managed to pull something out of the bag the last couple of games. But, that clearly didn't work against, for the most of the game against Forest, and then same against, Huddersfield. And Huddersfield were clinical enough to punish the hell out of us.
I think clinical is the word, really. I think I agree, though. I would like to see a little bit more like urgency to try and create a little bit more closing down. And I don't want to say passion, because I don't think they're necessarily not passionate, but like, just, okay, we've had a couple of bad performances, got away with one, the other one we got stuffed. You know what? That's fine. We're going to do something about it, and we're going to show it. I kind of like that sort of body language on the pitch. However that translates, that's what I'm looking to see. So we need to just forget about that, put it behind us. It was a blip, and then move on, and I guess continue what a good season it has been so far. Lucky in a way that Brentford lost, because even though we could have taken advantage and we didn't do that, it just means that they also didn't pull any ground on us. The concern is Watford closing in to maybe potentially turn second place fight from 2 to 3, fighting for it. But again, we need to concentrate on ourselves. We've still got them games in hand, so it's about getting back up and running and improving our form again now. Okay, so looking at the form, Swansea in their last 5 matches, we all know how they've gone. So we've had 1 draw against Brentford, we had 3 wins then in between that and the loss that we experienced on the weekend. However, Coventry's the last 5 doesn't look as good. They'd lost 3 games, they've drawn 1, but then they did manage in the last game to beat Brentford 2-0. So that could be a concern. Having said that, and having said what we're looking forward to seeing from the team then, any changes and team selection or formation changes, what do you think we could be looking at, Lee, in terms of this game?
He's got to make changes now, isn't he? I think you'll probably see an eruption from the fans if there's minimal changes again, because I think people wanted to see that on the weekend, didn't they? And I think if he sort of goes with a similar side again, I think people are going to be devastated. But he's got to make changes from the weekend. It's hard now because I think Lowe definitely was probably going to drop out, but I think he probably starts him now with Morris being injured.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't think that he's going to start Whittaker or Areola. I know the option's there, but I think just from what we've seen this season, I don't think he's going to make wholesale changes. Even though I'd probably like to see someone have another go in that position, because I don't think Lowe played very well on the weekend. But I think he'll stick with Ayew and Lowe up front, and then Smith has got to come into midfield. I know there's a lot of people calling for that. I think that's the obvious one. He's got to come in the midfield. I think he does bring that energy, especially when winning the ball back. That's probably about it, I think that's all he will do. I think obviously Bennett is injured, so I think Cabango comes in there. But other than that, I think that's it.
So you think it's just Smith, really?
That's what I think he will do. Yeah,
did
personally,
you say to drop out,
if it was me, well, I think Fulton will drop out, only because I don't think he will drop Horahan or Grimes.
Well, Grimes
but who
being
knows? Maybe he
captain,
will.
Horahan is he scored 4 goals, isn't he? So it's
4 goals
difficult.
and 5
Yeah, with the goals. Yeah, with the goals he scores, you can't drop him, and I think Grimes is captain, so I think just naturally Fulton would drop out, even though I don't think he's done much wrong. But I think Smith has to come in just for a bit of energy and a short turnaround again. So that's probably what he will do. I would probably bring in Whittaker maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will.
That's fair enough. So we've got someone watching. Hi, I'm Michael Sideaway. Welcome to the channel. Oi with the Swans.
Oh, Michael.
Well, Alid, what do you think about the team then? Obviously, Lee's touched on some changes. Would you change anything else?
I think the only other changes would come from him changing formation. That's the only way I can see any other change from what Lee's really said. I think he probably perhaps thinks that Whittaker more of an impact player than, from a sub rather than, from minute 1. I don't know. It's hard. Something needs to change, I think, because the last 2 games they haven't gone the way we want them to go.
No.
In a way. So I think something has to change. I think it's a big question of what, especially now that Morris has got injured. But I can't see him starting Areola because he's only recently come in, and Whittaker is very young as well, and sort of, I guess, inexperienced in a way. So I think it's hard, but I can't see him making changes.
It is hard, but for me, I think you're both not considering one that potentially might happen. Ryan Manning he must be sitting on the sidelines like thinking, what can I do to have a go? Because the last two performances haven't been great. I don't think Bidwell really could get forward against Huddersfield. He was really nullified. Whether that's tiredness, he's had a fantastic season. Maybe he is tired. He's played a lot, and I don't think he's got the same engine as Connor Roberts. I know Steve Cooper relies on him a lot for consistency, but I think Manning is a shout to just give him a go in it. It's against Coventry at home. You've got to rotate your squad, so it's a perfect opportunity to do so. Plus, you're thinking if Kambango's going to come in for Bennett, having Bidwell on the bench, he can come on the centre-back if he needs to come on as centre-back or left-back. So there's good versatility there. I know we can move from left-back to centre-back if Manning comes on. But, it just kind of it mixes it up, gives Manning a go, and he is more attacking, arguably. Even though I know, Bidwell's had 7 assists from wing-back, which he's a good crosser of the ball. So I think that's one I think we can expect to see, probably won't do it, but I would like to see that. I think you're right with Corey Smith coming in. I would go a step further. But then again, how do you change two of the midfielders? But I'd like to see Jan Dander come in for this one. I can't remember if he started against Coventry in the away game. But if I remember the away game, that was an awful game to watch. And the ball was up in the air constantly. It was a bit ugly to watch, and we managed to scrape a draw, I think. It was a poor performance then. Hopefully it won't be the same here. I would like to see Dander come in just to try and, again, show a little bit of attacking intent. Because I think this is the sort of game that we can put the team out to say, look, we've not played well, but we can attack, and we're going to put down a marker. So I think that's the way we should approach it. And then if you look up front, I think I agree with you, Lee. Morris would have come in for Lowe. So whether we can see Areola come in, I don't think Whittaker will start. He was brought in as a youth prospect, really, with someone who's going to play now and again. I think it's fair for Areola to expect to maybe try and have a little bit more involvement now. Whether that would be from the start this time, I'm not sure. It'd be nice to see what he can bring, because I still don't really know much about him. And maybe we'll give one of the other two a rest. But again, as much as we were asking for changes, I kind of feel like he's not going to make as many as what we want. So it's difficult to really expect too much.
You've got to find a balance for you, because you don't want to make 5 changes,
Yeah.
Because it's they're not going to, you don't know if players are going to gel or not. But I think you've got to make changes. I think you said in the last video, players must think they're undroppable. Same with players on the bench, thinking there's no what have I got to do to get into the side?
Yeah.
I know we've been winning games, but 2 poor performances in a row, I think I'd be knocking on the door saying, I want to start now. I've done everything right. I want to start the game.
No, exactly. It's tough, and we do look a bit tired. The fixtures are coming thick and fast, so we'll see what happens really. But hope if it's another performance of the same, even if it's like Nottingham Forest and we manage to win 1-0 in the same sort of vein, I think again it's going to erupt if it's the same sort of performance. And where do you go from there? Because it's going to do the same thing again, and yeah, I don't know what the solution is.
It's really weird. It's really weird that we're in this position.
Yeah,
it's really weird that we're in this position, because I feel like that as well, because we have only lost 1 game, but I don't know why it feels so much worse. Maybe because we're used to winning all the time now.
Yeah,
it just feels like we're in a bit of a funny spot at the moment. I don't know why.
I feel
because
like
this is only 1 game.
Oh, sorry, I think for me, I think it's not the fact that it's not a weird feeling that we, because we've lost 1 game. I think it's more of, I don't know, our attacking intent has seemed to fall off a cliff in a way. It just doesn't feel there. Okay, maybe falling off a cliff is a bit extreme, but it just doesn't feel there. And also going back to when we played away, Dander was on the bench, and we still had Gyökeres playing up front.
Did he start? He started that game, didn't he?
He started, yeah.
Oh, he's going to be playing for them this time. That's the point we didn't mention. I just realised. There we are.
Smith was in,
That's written in the stars.
Yeah.
The team back then was Woodman, Cabango, Bennett, Gui, Robert, Smith, Grimes, Bidwell, Ayew, Gyökeres, however you say his name, and Lowe.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like our attacking intent is gone.
Right, you mentioned the attacking
that's
intent. I think the issue is the three in midfield, and I'm not saying the personnel. He's playing them as a flat three, yeah. We need to push one up as an attacking midfielder constantly if we've got the ball, not a flat three. So if Horahan's on the pitch, it's got to be him surely. Otherwise, Danda, I think, is probably more of a, like we said, he's a luxury player before. Maybe this is the game where you can have a luxury player. But I think that's why our attacking intent is not... There's no link. So we have, like, you've got the wing backs, and you've got the people forward, and you've got the flat three. And it's that area in the middle that we're struggling to, like, play through. That's what I feel. And then because teams know that, they're nullifying the threat of the wingers, and we can't get the ball to the forwards without going long, and we're not a good long ball team. So I think that's where our issues are rising. And in the midfield, like I know you see sometimes one of them will run forward, like Felton will make a forward run sometimes, or if it's Horahan. But just having someone that's constantly there, bring kind of triangles into a bit. So you've got the midfielders with Danda, for example, and then Danda with the attackers in two different triangles. I would like to see that and see if it works. I'm not saying it's going to, but that's what I would like to see.
Definitely missing. We're missing something in that pocket there when he plays the three, like you said. We just need someone to get on the ball to take it off, like Grimes in midfield, and link up with Ayew. Because you find again when where like on Saturday when the attack starts to die off, Ayew comes really deep.
Yeah,
he just starts slowly dropping back in the midfield as the game goes on. When he's not getting the service, and that's not where we want him. We want him in the box, sort of, like the Norwich game. When he's in the box, he can just do something. Stuff forward seems to break for him. We don't want to see him dropping back into the midfield. That is what's happening when we're not getting the ball.
And the other thing with Ayew and Lowe at the moment is when they do get the ball, they seem to be taking it wide most of the time, and have perhaps having that sort of cam sort of player, it gives them an option to play a 1-2 or something like that, and just stay more central and let perhaps Roberts and Bidwell take a ball from the cam to wide, and they're in that central position to make a threat.
Well, I think the reason they're running wide with the ball, essentially what the idea is, that they use the ball, they run wide, and they allow the midfielders to push into that gap. But without that person that's constantly in that hole, you're waiting for them all the time. You're waiting for someone to get there, and then that's easier to be marking them out with the game. So they're not getting in the same sort of space, and then the chance is gone, or the team's dropped back already. And I just feel like it's probably a massive part of why our defence has been so good, aside from the weekend, why playing that flat three. But at the same time, you are probably sacrificing going forward. If you look at the game where we scored the most goals this season, the 5-1 against Forest in the Cup. I know it was in the Cup, but we played with Danda, didn't we, in that game? I don't know if you want to check that, Alid, just to make sure I'm correct. But I'm sure Danda started
I remember him being
in that hole.
Because we also had Routledge and...
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's all about Danda and he's the one that's going to make us tick, but it just shows what a difference it can make. If we get an early goal, potentially, then the team's got to come on to us. Then we can maybe exploit the space more. I just think it could, especially at home. Yeah. I understand the way, but especially at home.
We played a 3-4-1-2 against Forest for that 5-1, and Danda was a cam, but we had Routledge and Cullen as...
Yeah, we did, and they ran wide because Routledge did the cross for Cullen. But I'm just saying, Danda was there to allow that to happen, to feed it. He fed it to Routledge, I believe.
3-1... In our 3-1 against, who was it? Rotherham. As champion.
Yeah, that's the only game in the league.
Couldn't remember. We played 3-1-4-2.
Yeah, that was a flat three you can't always base the formation what they say on these stats websites, because they just put in what they think. It's the normal thing we played there with a flat three. I think it was Grimes, Horahan, and I don't know. Was it Dander?
Dander
It was Dander.
was involved again.
I think that game, Lee, you said Dander was playing as a centre mid and he was dropping back in the Rotherham game. I believe you pointed that out when we were watching it. So again, I feel like that's limiting us, but we are away and we won 3-1. But home,
Fulton came on. Sorry.
Yeah, he scored that goal, didn't he? I think Dander couldn't really get into the game, but then maybe that's because he was deeper.
We did assist Horahan.
Yeah, it was
first goal.
Yeah, remember there was a cross from Lowe who ran wide again, and Danders laid Horahan off, and it was a good finish.
Yeah.
But I think it's that's an interesting point to talk about. We could probably touch on that again, and obviously maybe after the game to see how he approaches it and if we saw any of this stuff happen. But I think that's been a good conversation anyway, and hopefully we'll be talking in a more positive attitude after the game. Anything else you'd like to add then before we close the video? Just have a Lee.
No, not really. I think I don't know. Why not go attacking at home? We got Coventry at home. No disrespect to him. We should be winning that game at home. I think you said about Dander, didn't you? So why? I know it's obviously a bit more attacking. Maybe you leave a bit more space behind, but why not play with maybe Horahan and Grimes as a 2, and then maybe maybe even play Ayew in front of them, and then have Areola and Whittaker in front of him. I don't know. Something to experiment. I want to see a bit more of an attacking performance as well. We'll see. If they win 1-0, we'll take it.
Yeah, so I did put a question out on Twitter earlier to see what sort of changes some of the followers would potentially make for this game. So we've got one from Andy. A little bit one. No one's probably suggested this one, but to start, I have to make sure I get his name right. One of the youth team's players who's recently come back from an injury himself, Ali Al-Havadi. So I think he's been scoring quite a few in the youth team. So again, it's going to be like a Cullen sort of situation. Can't see that happening, but again, if he's scoring down there, maybe you could put him on the bench and who knows, isn't it? He could be another gem. But again, that's probably an unlikely one for me. But it's nice to see, again, another youngster coming through. So cheers for that comment. Okay, so before we finish the video then, predictions. So what are you going to go with this time, Lee?
I really don't know. I really don't know with this one. But I'd like to think back to winning ways. I want to say 2-0. Yeah, we'll go 2-0 Swans.
Yeah.
And let's say Horahan again and Ayew.
Horahan and Ayew. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but I'll definitely
say 2-1.
Definitely stick a fiver on. Yeah, I'll definitely stick a fiver on. Giroc. I can't say his name. Giroc to score.
I mean,
2-0.
2-0.
He's probably going to any. It always happens for us. Aled, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go with a 2-0 as well. I think. I'm just hoping the attack is there. In all honesty, that's just what I want.
Yeah.
I think even if changes aren't made, but that attack is there, I think we have potential. If it's another slow game like the last 2 games have been, I can't see us doing anything. But yeah, I'll go with a 2-0.
So we got a prediction in the chat as well from Michael. So he's saying 3-1 tomorrow up at Swans. It's Wednesday that we're playing though, isn't it? Not tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Is it Wednesday?
I believe it's Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to say... I think we're going to bounce back. I'm going to go with 2-0. And I'm going to say...
Sweep at 2-0s? I didn't name players.
Lee put 2-1. Didn't you? You said 2-1 because Gyökeres, didn't you? But I'm going to say...
I didn't.
No, Lee did. Lee did.
Oh, Lee. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I got so confused.
I think I'm going to say Ayew's going to pop up with a goal because he's going to pull us out of maybe a rut like he likes to do. And if Dander starts, I'm going to go with Dander. There we are. Dander and Ayew. A little bit of a, probably be good odds on that, I think. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so that'll be the end of the pre-match for this match midweek. So hopefully this live stream format is good and you enjoyed it, and obviously everyone watching afterwards is going to enjoy it too. Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen in the game, if you agree with our predictions or if you think something else, then let us know below. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all of our content. We are also now on Spotify, where we've uploaded the 3 podcasts that we have done so far. So check those out as well. And follow us on Twitter to keep up to date there, because we post everything we're doing. We're quite active on Twitter. We've also got Instagram, Facebook, but Twitter is the one you want if you want to interact with us the most. On that note then, thanks boys for coming on, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a win next time I see you. So see you later.
Cheers, see you.
See you soon. Ta-ra.